Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me, reviewing Love is Blind UK Season 1, The Reunion. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Before I get into this is not related to Love is Blind at all. This girl right here, if you watch Love Island, is she not Mal from season, is it 10? Season 10, season 9? I was like, Mal, is that you? Hey girl, how you doing? Anyways, I liked the reunion. As a whole, I would say I did. There were certain parts where I'm like, go into it a little bit more, but I can understand why the hosts were like, you know what, we're just gonna park it there and move on. I respect it, I have to, I do. As somebody who studied psychology, it's not good to tamper with people's mental health like that. So if it's getting a little too testy, we gotta move on. I hear it, I do. I actually did film my last impressions video. I'm not sure if I'm still gonna put it out because even from that video to this reunion, my thoughts on certain people have changed. So I will see if I'll end up putting it out. If I don't, admire the beat. Ooh, she's cute. Yeah. I might put that out tomorrow depending on how I feel after recording this video. So noticeably, all the couples are sitting together, barring Ollie and Demi and Sabrina and Steven. Sabrina and Steven said yes at the altar. So I was here like, hold on, what's going on? But we're not there yet. They start with They start with Demi and Ollie. They say that even though they considered continuing things, they just decided it was best to part ways.
In that moment, like I was holding on to like, I do not for now. I was a shell of myself. And no one can give me validation other than myself. So after the experiment, I was like, right, mum and dad, I'm moving back in. Ollie's a good guy, but he's not my guy. So.
Right.
It probably wasn't our time.
Right.
That doesn't say anything about the love we have for each other or had for each other. It wasn't our time, and you know, it was the right thing for us.
Demi says that she needs to learn how to find validation within herself, and being taken away from her loved ones made her feel like a shell of a woman. Now, I was confused by that statement because was it the process that she was referring to or something that happened prior to the process? She moved back in with her parents and said they're not getting rid of her anytime soon. So I'm like, did she recently leave her parents' home before coming on the show? And so she felt like a fish out of water in general? Or was it the time spent in the experiment and maybe not having that freedom to do what you want and see who you want to see? And so like I was kind of confused by that statement, but the point is she needed to work on herself, and so she's choosing to get grounded by way of being with her family again. Ollie also says that he was yearning for the feeling of home, and although Demi did provide that, in one way that she did that was the birthday thing that she did for him. He was like, wow, I actually feel like this is home for me. And as much as that's what he was looking for and he did find it in Demi, he does agree that they just aren't the people for each other. Now, I don't know if I heard it wrong, but it sounded to me like Demi was more so saying, Ollie's not the man for me, whereas Ollie was saying, oh, maybe another time. I could be tripping, but at first, that's the vibe that I was getting. We soon find out that he's checking on somebody else anyway, so I probably just misheard it. They bring up Ollie's connection with Catherine, and Catherine says that she moved the way that she did because she didn't know where Demi stood with Ollie.
Demi kept her cards close to her chest, which I respect. He obviously said there was other connections, but I never knew who.
Always dated women that look like Demi, and respectfully, that don't look like Kat.
That wasn't rude what you just said. You're a stunning girl, Catherine. What really left a distaste in my mouth was that, do I think Demi and Ollie are going to work on the outside world? No.
But
my mouth's going to get me into trouble.
Why would you say my mouth is going to get me
That's
in trouble?
what I'm saying.
You were insinuating that was because of the way she looks, and she looks
Oh,
amazing.
it does. It
And that's
definitely
that.
was not.
Ollie says one thing that really annoyed him about the audience's reaction to him was the fact that people couldn't fathom his attraction to Demi. Now, I can't speak for the public, I'll speak for myself. I can see him being attracted to Demi. What irritated me, and yes, it is a TV show, I need everybody to please remember that, we can only talk about what we see. And what I saw was a lot more enthusiasm when it came to other women compared to Demi. So it did make me question, like, well, Like, why don't you want to be with somebody who gives you that oomph the way that these other women do? Like, I just didn't see that for him. It's not to say he wasn't attracted to her. You can still appreciate somebody's looks. You can still say objectively this person is attractive, but they just don't do it for me. And for the majority of the season, I felt like Demi just didn't do it for Ollie in that way. So he does say he did not like that people were projecting their own ideas, their own perspectives onto him. He is attracted to women like Demi. He didn't explore what that meant, but yeah, he didn't like all of that chatter. They talk about Catherine's comment saying, oh, Demi wouldn't be who he would move to on the outside. I even remember having an issue with her saying that because you don't know what he looks like. And even if you did, you don't know what he likes. So to automatically assume Demi isn't his speed, like, I felt a way about that. So I'm glad they brought it up. Catherine did get overwhelmed in that moment. And she said, what did she say? She didn't mean anything malicious about it. But as Jasmine pointed out, if you didn't think it was malicious, why would you say my mouth is going to get me in trouble? Like, I'm just glad that I felt the same way that the cast felt when watching that back, because it didn't sit well with me. And it made me wonder, what about Demi makes you say he wouldn't move to her on the outside? Nope, I didn't like it. Ollie starts to waffle when he is asked about Charlotte, and it seems he has the right to because they got something going on.
We are going to talk about the mixer, though, Ollie. Sorry. You did say to Erin that looks-wise, Charlotte is mad, berserk, sublime.
Yeah, we've I don't know how to word it. Yeah, me and Charlotte have it. Yeah.
I love Charlotte. Ollie's not my guy, he's a good guy. Is he your guy, Charlotte?
Genuinely, I don't think I could have got through the last few weeks having to watch what I've watched. I've got a lot of gratitude for him, and it remains complicated.
Wait, as I'm watching this back, the lady in the back is killing me. She's so annoying. Although we didn't get a clear answer on where they stand, she said it's complicated, but also they're in a good place. All right. They explored things. It sounds like, do I want to say it was shortly after? It wasn't as recent as maybe Tom reaching out to Tosh. We'll get into that. They have been together for longer than that. Don't know what the timeline is. So yeah, that's interesting. Like I said before, my issue was his enthusiasm he had for other women compared to the enthusiasm shown to us, because it's TV, for Demi. So to see him get with the girl who he said was berserk, sublime, I'm like, that makes sense. Based on the edit, it was clear to me that his attraction to other women trumped his attraction to Demi. That doesn't mean it nullified it completely. I think some people in my comments were getting the impression that I didn't think he could be attracted to her, which is not the case at all. I just think he wasn't as attracted to her as he was to other women. And seeing that he's now with Charlotte, it kind of verifies that for me personally. But regardless, the show is trying to ask the question, is love blind? And for the majority of us, it's not. You still want to be attracted to whoever the person is, regardless of how strong your emotional, mental, spiritual connection is. That attraction got to be there to some degree. And Ollie has found that in Charlotte. He is really attracted to her. They're complicated, those Facebook status type relationship. I don't know. Godspeed to them, I guess. We move on to Sabrina and Steven. This kind of broke my heart. I'm not surprised, but it did kind of break my heart. A few things that were an issue in the pods were the distance and the children thing. He wanted children of his own, and y'all were there. You remember. So I was like, I could see how those things could be issues, but it seemed like they worked through it, and clearly they did not. Actually, can I say they worked through it? No, I can't. Because Sabrina wanted him to move to Belfast, and I was like, but in the pause, I thought you said you're willing to move to London. I didn't quite get that. And then he said, he's okay with potentially adopting or fostering or whatever other methods of having kids, and maybe he didn't really feel that. I don't know. The point is, things dissolved, and it's kind of ugly.
There was no consistency in Stephen's behaviour towards me and the relationship. The communication was awful.
Our communication expectations of each other were very different. We just lost our spark.
How many times did you come from Belfast to London?
7.
And how many times did you go to Belfast?
I think twice.
I really tried and I really made the distance. You know, I tried to make it work.
And I accept that's where I let the side down, for sure.
Stephen doesn't really like talking on the phone unless there's a reason for it. You didn't make any adjustments in your life for me.
We either were fine or we wasn't.
You made no adjustments for me. That's very different from when we were spending time together.
I share a lot of stuff and I choose not to because out of respect for the person I thought I married.
From the looks of it, Sabrina was prepared to be a partner. Sabrina wanted a partner who was also prepared to be a partner. And Stephen was not prepared to be a partner, okay? Being a married couple, living long distance, and having poor communication after only knowing each other for a handful of weeks, it's bound to end in disaster. It is. I forgot to add that they both were exploring new career paths. So she thought she would get more support from him, and he was basically putting all his interest, all his focus into his new job because he lost a lot of clients from the recent shift. And it seems like Stephen was trying to take accountability, but the more Sabrina gave evidence of him not showing up enough in the relationship, the more he started to get defensive. So I wonder if he even realizes that, at least seemingly to us, the brunt of the responsibility is on him. He's more responsible for dropping the ball. I don't know. They both have different accounts of how things went down. And he does admit, could I have done things better? Yes. But he is portraying it as if the responsibility is 50-50. Sabrina's like, I will take some responsibility, but it's absolutely not 50-50. It's a tough one to call. We weren't there, nor were the cameras. So what are we going to do? Sad to see things fall apart in this way. I was rooting for them. I really was. On paper, it just seemed to make sense. And it's interesting too what Stephen said. I wonder if he was trying to perform as the perfect guy, because he even says the edit showed me as somebody who was seemingly like cookie cutter, perfect, but I'm not perfect. I have my pitfalls and I have whatever. And I'm thinking, there's the edit, but then Sabrina also believed how you portrayed yourself. So were you performing the entire time? Like, what's the deal? What's the deal there? She says he didn't follow through on his vows. He says he could argue the same. Things get a little bit heated, and that's where the hosts were like, okay, we're going to cut it short here. That's the part that I wish they could have went into more. However, I do understand how sensitive the topic is, and clearly tensions are still high between the two of them. So it's best that they hash things out in private, or maybe not speak at all, because it was definitely hot between them. And not in a sexy way. On the other hand, you have Bobby and Jasmine, who jumped straight into married life. The man was like, I'm a husband now. Let me pack up my life and live with my wife.
She was living in London, but pretty much 2 days after we got married, we were just like, pack my stuff up. Been there ever since. Best year of my life so far. I mean, I can't speak for Jasmine, but
I feel like we're best friends.
yeah, we really are.
We're so happy. Every weekend he wakes up and he's like, I'm so happy.
So what does the future look like?
Definitely planning on having kids, something we're working on as we speak.
I'm not a body language expert, not even close. But the chemistry was chemistry. The way that she was leaning into him, she was always holding on to him in some form or fashion. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I loved it. Great to see. She said that he has a quiet confidence, but the confidence was given loud today, okay? It was giving man of the house. Okay, Bobby, okay. I like it. I do. Jasmine says that going on the show was for the purpose of finding a deeper connection than just the surface that she was used to. So although he wasn't the type that she was used to dating, that's for the best, because now she's in a very healthy, very deep, very all the lovely things that you can say marriage, and that was the goal. So she got what she wanted. Jasmine doesn't admit that there are things that she could work on, and it is not fair for her to expect Bobby to continually reassure her on things that she could find reassurance within herself. So similar to Demi was like, I need to find some, was it self-worth that she was talking about? What was she saying? Validation. Demi was saying that validation needs to come from within. Jasmine is saying the same thing. The fieriness, that's something she is still working on. However, Bobby says he loves it. He loves when she gets passionate about certain things. So, hey, good for y'all, I guess. They bring in Marissa into the conversation. As we know, Jasmine's mama, Marissa, was not a fan of the relationship. However, Jasmine said that she knew in her gut that Bobby was the one. And now, being a year in, they have her full support. So good to see that things are going well between them. Next is Maria and Tom. They are sitting on the same couch, which would make you think that things are good between them. And they are-ish, maybe, kind of.
It felt like he was indirectly insulting my family.
I've got to say, like, having watched the episodes back, like, it was ugly behaviour from me.
You thank Tom for showing you a different version of strength.
There's nothing wrong with being an emotional person. It's okay to show that side to the world as well.
Like, I've never really had kind of like a masculine role model in my life. You know, the way that I was raised by my mum. So that comes with a lot of negatives, which I think actually came out a lot in our relationship.
I will say, Tom must have known that the only play at this reunion is to come with your tail between your legs, be extremely apologetic, and accept full responsibility, because he took everything on the chin. He's like, yep, a lot of missteps. Could have handled that better. I messed up on this. I wish I could do better. I actually called Tash, try to mend things. I'm so sorry I said that. I'm sorry I said that. Tom came ready, okay? Ready. Let's get into some of the things that were said. Oh my gosh. Maria was annoyed at his final comments at the wedding, where he was like, I don't want my children to be raised a certain way, whatever. And the reason why she took it personal was she felt as if he was judging the way that her parents had raised her, because she has implemented those things into her own life, and she wants to teach her kids the things that she learned from her own parents. And she's like, I believe that I am a good person. You've seen my family. You've witnessed that we are good people. So what's wrong with the way that we were raised? She also clears up the whole 50-50 thing. She never intended on somebody to fully take on her bills to fund her lifestyle, but she does look to the man to be the provider. Felt. I'm a Zimbabwean woman, okay? Felt. They don't seem to be angry with each other, but they definitely won't be friends. Then they bring up Tosh, and he does say that he has reached out to her recently just to clear up some things, because obviously there was some miscommunication with the mixer that we saw on the show.
I just wanted to make sure that firstly we were cool, and obviously I knew that we were going to be seeing each other today. And Tash and I had a really, really strong bond.
Were you talking about the L word in present tense?
Honestly, didn't firstly mean to drop Tash net. This is where the tension is. There's no tension. Yeah.
You can really see Tom trying to course correct, and I can't even be mad at it. I actually can't. I can't. He already knew the only play is to play nice. And he sure as hell played nice. Tosh seems disinterested in exploring things with him. What's her name now? Maria, also very disinterested in exploring things with him. And he seems to be okay with that. He's left both connections in an amicable way. And yeah, go forth and conquer to all parties involved. Benaya and Nicole are next. They are hand in hand. They are looking happy as ever. So safe to assume their first year of marriage has been good.
Well, first of all, I want to say that Nicole looks absolutely beautiful today. It's not boring brown, is it? Not boring brown. Not boring brown. I love her more each day. She's unbelievable for me. She's had a great impact on me. You can put her in almost any high-pressure situation. She'll never change from who she is as a person.
As you guys know, by the end of the season, this was my top couple. I can't even believe it. It just started to make sense. Still questioning the acting. I'm joking. I am joking. And I hope people know when you watch my reviews, it's all jokes. Unless I take a moment to say oh no, this is a serious topic. For the most part, I'm joking. I do like their relationship. I like that they found a middle ground between this nomadic lifestyle, but also having some groundedness in life. They travel a lot. Love that. Love that. She says that she could have been more direct with the way that she was feeling towards Benaya in the pods, and he's like, don't try to do that. I dropped the ball. I could have been more forthright. The connection was so good that it scared me. And when she hit him up, he was ecstatic. He was like, this is my second chance. I'm excited. I got to mend things. And clearly it was for the best. They bring out Sam. The man did not get a good response from the audience there. I mean, not the audience. I mean, also the audience. I was talking about the cast. They were making faces when he came out. And it is clear that they don't fool with him. And neither does the public.
You know, well, I went to do a love show to try and find the future wife of my life. It's been quite a lot of backlash, and it's been a lot for anyone to handle. Thought I was ready for things like love, and maybe I wasn't quite ready at the time. I do get nervous. I'm just a human. I say things out of nerves. At that point in time, I couldn't stand there and say I am absolutely in love with this person.
Why on earth did you feel the need to say to Benaya that Nicole wanted to sleep with you?
After watching it back, I wish none of that ever took place. I really do.
Sam, say I'm sorry to Nicole, please. It was disrespectful what you said.
For anybody who watched the last season of Love is Blind, the US version, wasn't he giving Clay? The way he came in his very pristine suit, I'll give it to him. But this perfect posture, these folded arms, this stern face. I'm like, oh my gosh, did he go to the Clay school of public relations? Like, what is this? Oh my gosh. So anyways, Sam is trying to say that throughout the season, he was just so nervous. And sometimes when he's in his head like that, he just speaks out of his ass and he's sorry that, oh, please. He just came to look for his, what did he say? Lifelong wife? Something to that effect. He's still playing to the cameras, and it's not giving what he thinks it's giving. Not in the slightest. Nicole clears things up and she says that she categorically ended things between them. And I'm glad that she said that. This is before the mixer that they had when they met up. When they were just about to go to Greece and she was like, I had to end things, I was on Nicole's side. Because I'm here like, why is this man trying to make it seem like her residual feelings for Benaya are the reason why he needs to take a step back? I did not like that at all. So she clears that up like, listen, I knew this wasn't for me, and so I ended things. And he didn't rebuttal, so I assume that he's now accepting that it really was her. Then they do talk about the mixer, and he is asked point blank, why did you say that Nicole wanted to sleep with you? Mans did not have an answer for that. Nicole clears things up again and says she did not want to sleep with this man. She doesn't know why he even brought that up. It is a blatant lie. Again, no rebuttal from him. So safe to assume that he's now also accepting that that was a lie as well. If you guys watch Your Aunties Could Never, they also review Love is Blind and some other shows too. It's a whole podcast. Y'all should just go subscribe to them. I think it's the thumbnail. I don't remember which episode it was, but it's the thumbnail where Sade is with Aaron and Freddie. So go click that one. They went to the screening of the show and they said they spoke to Nicole, and Nicole was letting Sam dig himself into a hole. And so that's why for us in the edit, it made it seem like she wasn't shutting him down, being like, no, I did not want to have sex with you. There was some confusion for us, the audience. So for me, and you know what's funny? I was joking, being like, Nicole, were you feeding for a peanut? And some people are really taking me seriously. Guys, if I say the phrase feeding for a peanut, there's no way you can think I'm being serious. There's no way you think I'm being serious. It was a joke. But anyways, there was some confusion because she did deny. She was like, well, no, I also thought exploring the sexual connection like wouldn't be beneficial for us. But it came up a few times and there wasn't enough like, no, adamant no's. So we weren't quite sure. But she says here at the reunion, sex was not on the table with Sam. He made that up. He apologized to the group. They seem to not really care for him much. We'll see what happens for Sam as things go forward for him. Last is Catherine and Freddie. They're also on the same couch, but they are no longer together. Well, they weren't together at the end, but they wanted to explore because you know how he was like, you want to move in? And no.
I mean, I'm not taking away the fact that we had something special and it was amazing. And there were things that personally, I wasn't happy about at times.
Yeah, I think we did live a different life.
Maybe at times I couldn't be myself.
Yeah.
I did feel like you'd snap at me quite a bit when it wasn't justified.
Gosh, I am snappy. I am.
I think we'll stay friends, you know, for probably forever.
So Freddie says that the responsibility for why things ended is on both of their ends, but Catherine does admit that a lot of her previous insecurities were creeping up. A lot of her experiences from past relationships were creeping up into this one, and so she could have handled a lot of things better than she did. She does say that she's a very snappy person, so she could have been a little bit easier on Freddie. They were all going through stuff, and so to constantly be snapping at him, it's a lot. It's a lot for somebody to deal with. Freddie is asked why he gifted the earrings, especially because it gives the impression that you are going to say yes at the altar. He says that in his mind, he was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. If he didn't gift her anything, it kind of would be insensitive. But if he did gift her something, it would look like he was being an F-boy, knowing he would say no. So he was just like, it's better for me to gift it and then take whatever response comes back to him. Catherine says she gave them back after they broke up. Catherine then thanks Freddie for basically putting up with her. She says that there's work to be done. Definitely there's work to be done. However, the process has made her a better person. She's learned a lot from the cast, and she hopes that Freddie finds love because he will make somebody a happy woman. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So as we know, those who are on the internet and have seen the Love is Blind stuff going around, she is dating somebody else from the pods. Now, the first suspect is weird. The first person who people were suspecting, there we go, was Sam, but it's this guy, apparently. I'm still not quite sure on that. She'll confirm at some point. But yeah, she found somebody. She is in a better place. She didn't say she was in therapy, but the acknowledgement alone is a great step in the right direction. So that's good. All in all, I like the reunion. I think it was done very well. Obviously, we know that they've been greenlit for season 2, so I'm excited to see where this show goes. I know it's going to have the same effect as the US version. People are not just going to come for clout. It's going to be very clear. But one thing I love about Love is Blind is the conversations that come out of it. So regardless of the clout chasers, I'm excited to watch what comes from season 2. I hope you guys stick around for that. Speaking of sticking around, myself, Roxy, Chloe, and Tammy will be going live Tuesday. I think, I forget the time, but look on the community page. There will be an update on what the time is for that. So stay tuned for that live. We could talk more about the season as a whole, all of our thoughts, and whatever else y'all want to talk about. So as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.